This is a lot earlier than anybody might have expected, but the wind is starting to kick up, and it looks like we're going to be getting some storms soon. So um, we'll just see if I can play around with some of this stuff. Let's see here. Hey, Demon Bro, behave yourself, or I'm going to give you a timeout. Hey, Rural. Glad to see you. Thanks for your submission already. That was pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Celtic Grandma, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Don't really have a plan for this live stream either. But I know things are getting kind of hot and heavy with the whole World War III stuff. So if anybody wants to talk about that, you know, pop in your ideas and your questions. You know, like I was saying yesterday, get yourself a good, hey Hudson, get yourself a good doctor that understands prepping and the current situation. No, it didn't start yet, Demon Bro. I would have let you know if it did. Yeah, I saw a little bit about that, Rural. That's pretty freaking nuts. You know, the more that stuff happens, the closer it is to happening here, and the more likely things are going to pop off. We're going to get blamed for something sooner or later. Just not sure which one, and you know, it may or may not be us. I don't know if you guys can hear it, or you can probably see it behind me. The wind really is kicking up. We weren't supposed to be getting storms until after 4, but I think it's probably going to be quicker than that. So figured I better get this out of the way, get it taken care of. Yeah, it has been the same tactics for sure. And you know, we're funding ISIS, and now we're catching ISIS people over here and trying to act like we're the good guys, and we're paying them to attack us. So yeah, you're welcome, honey. Even if I did have to put it next to your sleeping face, I knew you'd be hungry when you got up. So sorry, I'm just looking at my husband has one of our old pop-up canopy frames with a mismatched canopy on top because the original canopy had gotten shredded, but he has it over his table saw and stuff over by the cabin, and it's just gonna be one gust of wind, and I think that thing is gonna be over on top of our daughter's car. Those 3 cats. Does that mean you can't hear me? Can everybody hear me okay? Or is the wind too much? Oh, see, I hadn't seen that yet, Rural. I figured they probably would. And, you know, it probably is. As much as I hate to say it, like, I love our country, but I hate our government. Our government is just as evil and corrupt as every other one out there. Not to say that, okay, 5x5, awesome, thank you. Not to say that I want to be ruled by another government, but we definitely need a purge in ours. We need to get back to basics and back to the Constitution. Hey, Kat, how are you? It's a little weird seeing you here. That's awesome. We need to do a coffee date soon. Let's see. Haven't seen a decent politician in 12 years. Yeah, you know, I kind of agree. I do like Rand Paul. I wish Ron Paul wasn't so old, because I think this would be his time. Justin Amash doesn't seem too bad. I don't agree with everything he says, but I don't agree with everything any politician says. Oh, thanks. Yes, my new fat girl shirt. You know, being in bed 22 hours a day has led me to put on a lot of weight. But right, I agree, Palmetto Paratrooper. Unfortunately, we're, you know, stuck living under their thumb. But I've put on a lot of weight, so when I do have to buy something new to fit into, I make sure that it's what I want to wear. So, and Hudson, yes, be the change you want to see, which is why I preach self-sufficiency and barter and you know, keeping your circle small. No, I'm not gonna mew. That's go to my son's channel for that. But so keeping your trade group small, your circle small, getting into the habit of bartering and producing something that you can barter with. You know, it's gonna come down to it, and the more practice you have and the more people you have in that circle and the more places you know where to get those things locally is going to be important. I'm going to you know, I did start a group on Facebook a while back about an alternative economy for our area, and even though in a true SHTF you know, things like Facebook and X and all that stuff, they technically might not be available. If you can make those connections now, you know, use the technology and the tools that are available, make those connections, get those groups started, and then exchange real information with those people. So, hey, Mad Shad and Coffee, thanks for coming. You know, it's all about leveraging the tools we have at our disposal now so that we can live without them successfully after they're not available. Which is why I need to get with a couple of you and like exchange, you know, radio handles and things like that. Even though we're not like super close, some of y'all aren't that far away, and we could definitely do some things. So, you know, we need to get on that. And as content creators and, you know, I don't want to say prepping experts, like we're all experts in our different areas, but as the prepping community, you know, we need to expand our reach and make sure that we, hey, Love and Life, we need to remember that, he's Demon Bro in the comments, Fortnite Kid. Yeah, Coffee on Long Island. You know, I'm north of Binghamton, so it's funny we're getting the kids networking in here. That's a little strange, but hey, whatever works, right? So yeah, so get those groups started. It's really, I mean, can you see how much it's kicking up here? Yeah, it's not gonna hold off till 4. I can feel it. My fibro's flaring up. And vote for Joe. I mean, everybody can vote for whoever they want, man. You do you, but I can't in good conscience. I'm not a huge Trump fan either, but given the options, you know, I've got to go there. And actually, I wanted, no Demon Bro, but I'm sure you will. Yeah. So I wanted to, actually, I was thinking a little bit about today, about, you know, some people are accusing me of being a Trumpster and things like that. And, so I'm really not, but, given the current options, he's the best that we've got, unfortunately. There's a lot I don't like about the man. I don't like his crassness when being in a political position. I think in the beginning it was sort of a breath of fresh air, you know, getting somebody who, you know, wasn't afraid to say exactly what he thought the way he thought it, but then it did get exhausting after a while. So after a while that got a little annoying. But policy wise, business policy wise, you know, my husband owns a small business and we never did better. But then the pandemic hit. I didn't like the, okay. I won't be able to, you'll have to email them to me, Hudson, because I, you know, won't be able to look back at the live chat, to see. But, But so when the pandemic hit, all the trust and power he gave Fauci really pissed me off right from the get-go. Um, I know a lot of people, trusted him to begin with and stuff. I just never did. There was just something about the man that I did not like. And then pushing the vaccine through so fast. Hey, Ultra Mega Patriot, and then pushing the stimulus, which put us more in debt and caused some of the inflation that we're seeing now. Hi, Divinely Blessed. I didn't like that either. And we are paying for a lot of that now. But considering everything else that is happening now with the current administration and the continuous attack on our rights. I also didn't like his stance on red flag laws, by the way. So, no, I am not always Trumper. He's the best thing since sliced bread. But he is the best option that we have. RFK, I like his healthcare stance. I do not like his 2A stance at all. So, yeah, guys, double tap the screen to hit the like button, please. I'd appreciate it a lot. I'm still trying to get up to that 1,000 subscribers. I was up there for a while, and then YouTube took them all away. But no, I know I don't owe anybody an explanation, Coffee, but I kind of like to explain my way of thinking. It is a little bit annoying when people accuse me of being one thing or another without knowing me. So I'm giving them that chance to know my way of thinking. So the way I see life and the way I see government has two functions: national defense and to protect the rights of its citizens. And right now, frankly, it's not doing either. But all this other stuff that it has its hands in, it has no business doing. And I'm a no victim, no crime advocate. And I don't see the state as a victim. They're just not. The state isn't a person. If you don't hurt somebody, there is no crime. So, yeah, if everybody would just, stay out of everybody else's business, let them live the way they want to live. If you tap twice, if you double tap on the screen, Ultra Mega Patriot, it'll give it a like. There are certain things like codes of decency, especially there was recently a debate about pride parades in public places and the way they dress. If you double tap on the screen, Cat, if you're on a phone, it'll like it. But I don't believe in people wearing, S&M gear with body parts hanging out in places that children could be present. If there's a secluded area where that stuff's permitted and children are not, great. But, there are certain laws do need to be in place to protect the psychosis and not the physical and mental health of people and children. But other than that, get government out of the freaking way. Let the markets dictate themselves. Obviously, fraud and intentional harm should be punished, but everything should be minimal as far as the government's concerned. So anyway, that's where I stand on that. And I'm never going to be 100% behind any candidate. I can't even talk. I need some more caffeine, sorry. The only person I would be behind 100% if they were running is Jesus Christ. So if you're not him, I'm not gonna, not call you out when I see something I don't agree with. So, and that includes me. I would be a lousy politician. I don't have the I don't have the tact for it anymore. Maybe when I was younger and more patient. But the older I get, the more I say, yeah, Livingston man. No, I don't agree with him on everything either. So, but he would be very entertaining to watch. That'd be damn sure. Maybe he could write a new libertarian theme song or something. So, but gotcha, Coffee. So anyway, there's that. Obviously, it's the weekend, so there's no news since yesterday on anything. Oh, who do you have a shirt coming from? From Livingston Man? That would be fun. Although the guy's already got his own patches. I don't know what else he needs, but I must have missed something in the chat. Let's see here. I don't see a lot of it, so Corpin Port 90 in my mark. I don't know what that means, Greenleaf, but yeah, rural. I do think Hudson Valley is gonna enter the contest, so it'll be awesome. We've got some competition. Remember, you guys. So anybody who didn't see it on my Facebook yet, or on my community post, I'm holding a contest from now until September 1st. I definitely need a new intro and outro for my videos, and I am not crafty or techie or anything like that. Put me in the kitchen, Iron Chef style, and I'll blow you away. But this kind of stuff, no. So the contest is for a huge bottle of my homemade mead for the best intro and outro. Plus, you'll get credit in my YouTube bio. So may the best person win. You can email submissions to me at southerntierprepper@gmail.com, or if they're too big to email, you can post them on YouTube and tag me in them. So you can see I'm busy. Wow, yeah, that is a little Livingston Man sing the intro. I mean, who knows? Maybe Mike will get on him about that. I don't know. So yeah, stores lately have been kind of crazy. I went into Aldi this past week. I think it was on a Tuesday or a Wednesday morning, and there were some things out, some things missing. But usually, you go to Aldi and people have like decent sized carts, and there was hardly anything in anybody's cart, and they just looked so grumpy and so nasty, and a lot of times you go to Aldi's and people are smiling and they're like, giving you a quarter for your cart or whatever, or giving you their cart and holding out their hand for a quarter. None of that. People just were like tunnel vision and wanting to do their own thing and grouchy, and I don't know if it was the heat or if it's the cost of things or a combination of everything, but society is just getting more and more discouraged and disheartened, and there's more crap out there, and people just don't want to people anymore. And I think that was part of the reason for the pandemic too, is to separate people, masked versus unmasked, vaxxed versus unvaxxed, and just get people used to staying home and not being in society, not being around people, and conditioning them to hate each other. And it's worked. Our government they're idiotic, but they're not stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. So, go away, Alice. So this one over here, let's see if I can get it so you can see her. Can you see the rooster right there? I'm not seeing what you're seeing. But anyway, when we hatched our chicks, that was named Alice. My daughter loved the markings, patterns. All our chickens are barnyard mixes, so that one was really unique, and so she named it Alice, and turned out to be a rooster. So now it's Alice Cooper. So 96 degrees, huh? Yeah, that kind of triggers me too, but nice, Janet. We have too many roosters, so if anybody's in the area and wants one, even if it's just to practice dressing out your own chickens, have at it. We've got 4 of them. They actually raped one of my hens to death last week, so I just don't have my processing stuff up and out. Everything is packed, everything's away, and I don't have anything to cook or preserve it in now. It's just everything to do my preparations, like food-wise, is gone. So, you know, we still do have a lot of our food preps, which is great because we're living off of a lot of them. Um, but as far as like adding to it or processing any of the stuff that we have, it's gone for now, and I can't replace it and use it until we get our house up. So, please continue to pray that we get something going soon, so we don't have to deal with this bullshit anymore. Um, I am thankful for the experience, though. We've definitely learned a lot about a little more primitive living and the kinds of things that we would need to do if we were setting this up for long term. Um, I'm limited now because we know this is short term, and we're not like, you know, building our outdoor cooking pit or outdoor oven or things like that, because we know this has got to be resolved by winter. Thank you, Coffee. I definitely appreciate that. Um, but if this was permanent, it's, hey, KP, we definitely, you know, have things in mind that we would have to do if this was a permanent situation. You know, we'd have to build a bigger fire pit. We'd have to have a spit and, you know, things to hang our cast iron off of to cook over it. Um, you know, we'd add more windows to the cabin. We'd build some shade over the camper. All kinds of stuff like that. You know, and there's some other things too. Um, you know, we'd have to have like an outdoor cooking or outdoor canning set up, that type of thing. So, but thankfully, this is not going to be permanent. At least we hope not. If it is, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to be finding out where a couple of insurance companies are based and do some marching in. So, hey Teresa, how are you? And then we've got our white rooster coming over here. The only one of our chickens that has a name right now is Alice Cooper, because my daughter named him when she thought it was a her. So, yeah, Kyle, definitely. Snuffleupagus. That was my favorite Sesame Street character when I was a kid. Definitely striving to thrive. You know, it's and the people who are prepping now are going to be the people who will be not just surviving but thriving. You know, obviously everybody's at a different level of preparedness, and sometimes surviving is going to be enough. But you know, if you have like little luxuries or the ability to help somebody else out, you know, that's going to be better. Hi Janet, how are you? Alice Cooper and Iron Maiden, nice. Nice. My first concert ever was when I was 18. It was in 1996. My cousin took me to Ozfest. And when Ozzy called everybody from the nosebleeds down to the stage, I was in an aisle seat and I almost got swept down with the crowd. But my cousin jumped on a chair and, you know, I was a whole like probably $1.15 back then. And he picked me up over the chairs and got me back. Or that could have been a whole different story. But, yeah, concerts are, I miss them. I miss them a lot. You know, we try to get to 1 or 2 a year. I don't think we got to one last year. Year before, we went and saw, we saw the Eli Young Band because they sang our wedding song. We saw Chris Cagle, and we saw, who else was that year? Oh, Willie Nelson, the Outlaw tour, and he had Zach Bryan and those guys there too. That was a really good show at Bethel Woods. So, hey Heaven's Fire, hey Jules from Canada. Oh, I don't envy you guys up there, but we're headed in that direction. Nosebleed section at Jones Beach, so not too rowdy. Nice, nice. Yeah, when I used to live in Pennsylvania, I worked at a hotel in State College near Penn State that that was the only hotel in the area that had enough rooms to accommodate like the big shows and their crews and everything else. So I was actually given a lot of concert tickets from those guys when they'd come to stay. So I saw a lot of shows back in the day. There was about a 10-year period where I didn't go to any because, you know, the relationship I was in, that guy didn't like crowds. But then, you know, when my husband and I got together, he's a music lover and a guitar player, and you know that's one of our things. We motorcycle ride and we go to shows. So we got to see the Black Sabbath reunion tour back in 13. We went down to Philly with some friends to see that one. That was amazing. So yeah, I saw the Limp Bizkit tickets, Hudson, and I was thinking about it, but you know, I don't know with the situation here, and that just sucks. I wish things were more certain, because that is definitely one that I would jump on. Although Fred Durst looks older than me, and you know, he might be a couple years, but he's looking old, so he's one of those ones that, you know, you want to see before he gets too old. I was amazed though, back in 13, Ozzy still put on a hell of a show. It was really awesome. So, oh goodness. Hey, Papa's Farm, how are you? Help? What do you need help with? Did I miss something? Oh, you'll help almost anyone in SHTF. Yep. You know, it's funny because I tell my friends, met Dolly and James Woods in your hometown. Awesome. That's very cool. Yeah, I'm of the same mind, Papa's Farm. And, you know, even people in our mags, they know that, you know, if somebody's home is compromised or whatever, they're obviously welcome to come, but you keep getting kicked. That sucks. I'm sorry, Janet. I don't know how to fix that. But you don't come empty-handed, you know. You need to be able to, you know, provide, even if it's just like a lot of labor and some tools, or, you know, you take the shitty jobs around here, whatever it is, everybody's got to pull their weight. But if a stranger comes knocking on my door, I'm sorry. Or if it's one of those people that have said, you know, oh, if it all goes down, I'm coming to your house. No, you're not. You're just not. I mean, I think the shirt says it all. It doesn't work that way. So, you know, some people are more willing to help strangers than I am, but I've got to think about my kids. You know, I'm not going to expose them to anything that might possibly hurt them, and God help the person who tries. So, you're pimping out your hubby. Sharpening skills, definitely. But you know, people think sharpening knives and stuff is easy, and it really isn't. It's definitely an art. Palmetto Paratrooper, 6 children to feed. Exactly. We have 3 at home still, and 3 that are grown and flown. You know, our priorities lie here. Your brother said the same thing. Queen of England and Lady Diana down to the Osmond. Nice. Very nice, Susan. When I lived in Hawaii, I actually met a lot of famous people. My uncle owned a very elite hair salon where all the celebrities and rich people go. I actually house sat for the Rothschilds, believe it or not. And I was in a hot tub with Emmett Smith once, a public hot tub at a hotel. Nothing like shady or anything. And he was just a really cool guy and everything. So, but yeah, he was in town right before the Pro Bowl that year, and met Dick Van Patten, Alan Thicke, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Melanie Griffith. You know, a lot of those ones. So, 90s stuff. My kids probably wouldn't know who the heck any of those people are. So, sharpening since he was 16. Oh, that's awesome, Coffee. Very cool. Well, if he's ever traveling through the southern tier, I could probably line him up with some business. I know some people. Hey, Scott. Good to see you. Am I missing anybody? Donnie, how you doing? Chacha? Let's see here. I got Janet. Okay, I think I've got everybody. So I was looking around the house earlier today, like not in the house, but around the house. Yeah, Papa's, you know, same. Although we have a couple that have gone on a wayward path, so I'm not sure how that would pan out, but they're still our kids and we still love them. So, but I was walking around the house and I was trying to figure out what plants are salvageable and things like that. So, my best friend's on vacation right now, but when she comes back, she's going to Um, excuse me. She's going to have me point, and she'll dig and salvage for me and kind of store them and stuff for when she gets back, or for when we get reestablished. But there's a lot of things that I had planted around the house that now I'm thinking that when we build the new house, I'm trying to find places like a little further away from the house to put them, just because they spread so much, and I don't want them to not spread. I definitely want more of it, but I don't need it spreading everywhere, like right next to the house. Things like my lemon balm, my mugwort, which I thought had died when my friend gave it to me last year. But then it started coming back in the fall, and it was okay. And I was like, okay, it might live. And then we had winter, but it was a mild winter. Now it's like all along my walkway, and it's just awesome. So I'm thinking I might be able to salvage a couple layers of my air dehydrator. It was on the deck, so it got yeeted. But I don't think it's all torn to shreds. I was thinking I could hang that up here and on one of these bars and dry up some of our mugwort, because you know, being somebody who suffers with not sleeping, it's part pain, part fibromyalgia, which is pain too. But and once I get this back surgery, I'll still be an insomniac. That's just the way I am. And we're getting some rain. But dried mugwort is excellent to smoke for sleep and dreaming, and like an anti-anxiety, and very calming. And it's not a narcotic. It's not, you know, it's not something that you can't drive on unless it makes you too tired, which is possible. But so I definitely want to get some of that dried, because I did have a nice jar of it and a pipe on the deck, and then that just, so. Let's see. Wild edibles, and they moved 1,000 miles away. 60% of what you know. 60% is still damn good. I just started learning foraging, like not last year, but the year before I started a little bit, and then last year I got into it a lot more, to the point where like I went and visited a friend who had better woods than I do, and we got some ghost pipe and things like that. So now there's a lot more that I know now, but I still know that there's a lot of other stuff that I don't know. So a little trick, and no, I don't have any updates from the insurance company, Janet. It's so frustrating. Hey, CUCB farmer, how you doing? But there's an app called Picture This, and it's a plant identification app, and it's really awesome. But they want you to either sign up for a 7-day trial, or it's like $30 a year to have the subscription. You don't have to do that. If you download it, open it up, there's like a little like close or cancel thing, very faintly. Just close that and you can actually use it. The only thing it doesn't show you is, it doesn't show you some of the like plant information, but it identifies everything and shows you the area, if it's invasive or not, that type of thing. But then once you've got the name of the plant, you can Google it and find out all of the medicinal benefits and health benefits, and if it's edible or not. So definitely try that. A friend turned me onto that little trick. Because I hate paying for apps, and you know, it seems like they always renew the subscription at the least opportune time, or you forget about it. And this way it's just like I get the information I need out of it, and if I need more information I can look it up. Hey Coffee, enjoy your lunch. This is my lunch. I don't have much of an appetite in this heat, so it's just like I stick with my, you know, protein shakes and caffeine, and I'm good. Yeah, that canopy is definitely going to go over. One good gust catches it the right way, and I just hope it doesn't scratch up anything. But let's see here. You found the app. It doesn't sink in. Yeah, I'm the same way, Palmetto. The older I get, the less information I find I'm able to retain, unless I'm actually doing things. So like what I found is, like when I find something in the app that I want, I'll make sure I pick it, because that sort of like makes a connection. and then I'll go do something with it, and that way I don't forget. And like we have a lot of wild roses around here. It wasn't until fall that I realized it's like, oh shit, you know, I've lived here for 13 years now, and I never realized we have this huge abundance of rose hips here. Before, I was actually thinking about cutting a bunch of them down because my son's allergic to bees. And yes, I know we need to provide food for the bees, but not that close to the house. And now I'm like, okay, well, the thorns are a great natural barrier. They give us rose hips. He doesn't leave the house that much anyway. They're sticking around. I might dig some up and move them around a little bit, but it was like another little added blessing that we found on our property. Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that, Hudson, because I had no yarrow on our property until I planted some in my medicinal gardens last year, and now I'm finding it cropping up like in different parts around our property, which is fantastic because my medicinal gardens were wiped out by the tractor. Um, so I'm definitely glad of that. Same thing with St. John's wort. Like I'd never seen any on our property until I planted some, and I let some, you know, flower and go to seed with the intention of letting it reestablish right there. But now I'm seeing some like along our driveway and stuff. So definitely, you know, a blessing there that maybe I can dig some up and, you know, reestablish my medicine gardens once things are back up. Awesome, Hudson. Awesome. The couple things that I'm really disgusted at, though, that I lost were I had golden seal that would have been ready to harvest this fall, and that's not something you typically find around here. It's you know, it will grow around here, obviously, but it's not common. So I had golden seal and valerian root that this would have been their second year, and I would have been able to harvest that this year. Same with my marshmallow. Um, you know, all of the 200 plus seedlings that I had established for our garden in the house died from exposure once there was a big hole in the house. So, um, honey locust thorns is a fish hook. Ooh, nice. Good to know, palmetto paratrooper. I don't know if we have honey locust around here. I know we have a lot of black locust, and we have a ton of what we call thorn apples. They're like a native apple tree. They make like these little crab apple style apples, but the thorns are crazy. Like some of them are like that big. You do not want to be walking, you know, around my perimeter and catch one of those in your eyeball. So, this hill that we're on, actually way back in the day, like mid 1800s, used to be apple orchards. And through the years, they've, you know, cleared spots for the farm fields that are next to us. There's like 158 acres next to us, for some of the houses on our road, fields, whatnot. So I don't know if those thorn apples were originally a cultivated variety, um, or what, but I mean, I've made like apple juice out of them before, and it tasted fine. We also do have some grafted apple trees on our property too. So, how much land do we have? Well, we have right around 6 acres, but when we bought the place, we were told it was 8. But then a couple years in, when the county went around and reassessed everything for taxes, they didn't. They didn't separate our land from the farm next door. So we had to go back and argue that. So they had to remap our property. And according to the drawings on our abstract and our deed, it comes out to right around 6 acres. So we have some woods. We have the yard that our house is on, or was on. And then we have like a lot of, you know, forested hill and like a 1 acre flat out back here. So we do have other places we could till. The only problem is we're right on the Marcellus Shale here, so our land is very hard and rocky. So even establishing a small in-ground garden plot is really labor intensive, just trying to get all the rocks out of it. And then every year you're stuck, like when the frost happens and then it thaws again and everything heaves up, you're stuck picking more rocks. You know, we'll be picking rocks till the day we die, except, you know, that's what kids are for, right? Because this back of mine ain't doing it. So we had a couple of sprinkles there a little bit ago, but it seems to have come down a little bit. Can't really. Okay, so everything looks like it's blowing in from the north, just the way the clouds are moving, and it doesn't look too bad over that way. So maybe it will hold off until 4. Hey, Winter Homestead, how are you? I'm not surprised you didn't get a notification. Um, I don't even get notifications for some of the bigger channels sometimes. So, what I have found though is like I always get notifications from Rural and Hudson. And I think that's because I am like always searching their channels to see if I missed anything. Just because they're my bros. But so I think that might help YouTube realize, oh, hey, she wants those notifications. So maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I just lucked out. But black locust trees on your dad's property. Oh, wow. That's some pretty cool history, farmer. 1.6 acres in South Carolina, 3.8 in Oklahoma. Oh, wow. Yeah, so which one's easier to grow in Palmetto? Because we were looking at land in South Carolina. We went down to, can you guys hear that wind? We went down to the Myrtle Beach area for our 10th anniversary. And we just fell in love with the area. But, you know, the prepper in me was like, okay, hurricanes, you can prep for that. But how is the soil here? And everything looked so sandy, and even the lawns looked so dry and stuff that it wasn't. I was like, okay, if we're gonna do this, we have to go further inland or find a place that that can grow better. Yeah, and actually, Jana, I had just built 4 brand new, beautiful raised beds around the deck. I've got my hair blowing into my eyes. I'm really not like that obsessive, but yeah, I just built 4 new beautiful raised beds, had them planting, everything was coming up, and then the tractor completely turned them into scrap metal. So that is the plan though when we rebuild. Hopefully we don't have to go too far into our garden area to build the new place, and I can still have use of that too. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there are different regions and different soil types and things like that, so I get that. Well, we're coming up on 45 minutes. I know a lot of people do over an hour, but you know, I'm still getting used to this whole live thing. I'm not the kind of person that likes to see myself on camera. So right, nice. So if there's anything anybody else would like to know before I wrap up, just give me a shout. Yes, that is the plan. I did ask him to do that, and he said he's going to be putting up concrete barriers, but he probably won't be doing that until after the corn is harvested this fall. If he did it now, just bringing the trucks in and stuff would be really, it would ruin his corn crop. But I guarantee you that his guys are going to be a hell of a lot more careful, you know, come harvest time. Thanks, Teresa. Thanks, Susan. Easy peasy. Yeah, easy for you to say, Mike. You're the natural at this. You've got the voice for it and everything. So, but I did check out that first live stream that you guys did, and that gave me a little more courage to see how far you guys have come since then. But I will note that Livingston Man's obsession with the dehumidifier water is not new. That was on your very first live stream. So he seemed like a little shocked and surprised by it, but he was talking about it way back. So anything else? I think I'm going to call it a day and see if there's anything I can do to maybe secure that other canopy before it goes over. And then I am getting my, yes, I did do my homework, Jules. Thanks, Janet. And then I'm going to park my fat ass on the heating pad and in the air conditioning, and hopefully our power doesn't go out. So everybody, Thanks for coming. Don't forget to hit that like button, please. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all those things. And don't forget, always do your research and prep on.